All right, folks, welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, April 3rd, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back for our afternoon meeting, perhaps waking a few of us on up here. And our chat board should be good to go right now. Should be no tech little issues right there. Great to see Barbara, Michael, Grant, Leda, all of our students just joining us here live right now. I got the green light from them this time, loud and clear. Hopefully that's unanimous. Hopefully Chuck, Phil, Henry, all of our students otherwise that were not able to kind of hear us earlier. Hopefully you folks are good to go. Hopefully everyone's good to go on social media included at Cyber Trading You. Good to have all of us back on our social media streams and platforms. As always, bottom left popping up here in just a second or so here at Cyber Trading You. For any of our new attendees here, just be sure to hit the follow or subscribe button at the end if you're interested in learning more about day trading. Basically, what we'll talk about here heading into the Phase 3 class, because again, for all of our gold, platinum, and diamond students of CTU, you have access, eligibility to the Phase 3 stock course with Fausto coming up 3:05 Eastern Time. Really just kind of live trading with the man himself heading into the close. So really that's where we're going to be like kind of scanning the market for him really here and seeing if there's any good trades that we could work with. There's already a few good trades that we could work with, of course, just by looking at the screen. CGC is finally starting to break out of its shell, I had said earlier. But man, I got to tell you, I've been kind of more of a stickler to this CGC trade. The ACB has been the much better trade today and even from yesterday, really. But, they kind of move together. So as long as we're making money on one or the other, that's really the biggest perspective or the best perspective that you can carry forward. So for anyone that killed it on ACB, I congratulate you. We're going to put both on our watch list. We'll put the ACB trade above CGC even. But now at this point, this one's starting to rev up a little bit better. I had to chase this, or not even chase. I don't want to use the word chase. The word chase I feel is like reckless entry. It wasn't reckless entry as much as it was like I missed it from the first big level. So once it broke above resistance off of not just 9, but it was actually perfect entry off of 908. 50,000 share block print got filled earlier today at 908. It got held as resistance here. And then off the push up here, I even missed it off of 9. I'm like, ooh, 908. Okay, well, maybe that's the level. Big reaction off of it right away since. And yeah, I mean, hey, Aurora, Canopy, both we're going to add to our watch list here. The other one that I'm in right now, this is like kind of more of like a flyer. I was like hopeful for a bounce. I got it like to begin, but it's not looking nearly as good. Viper or Vivo Power here, VVPR, ended up making a good push yesterday, made a good push in pre-market this morning. Well, ended up dumping off. So I caught like a fortunate little entry just earlier, but this is like not looking too great now. I already took half out and still have half my or set half my stop to break even on the second half. So with that said, if this just pulls back, that's fine. I'd rather just focus on those pot stocks to begin. And hey, if there's anything else looking good as we go from top to bottom here, we'll find it. So probably a lot looking like that, a lot looking like ABIO here to begin. So, this one also had a great pop from earlier this morning, at least, right? Pushed up after the market opened up, failed to make the higher highs. It tried to push up to 4, but ended up falling off. I mean, hey, let me ask us here really quick. Answers on the screen, of course, but it's really from class. It's really from phase 1. So for like Margaret, Grant, Jeff, all of our students here, what time do we normally, of course, that's the keyword, but what time do we normally expect stocks to reverse, pull back, go the other way? 10:15 to 10:30. 10:30 says Wendy. If you're Central Time, it would be 9:30, as Herbert put it. Right there, right? Right around 10:30, 10:32, it hit its peak, right back down. So I say normally because that's not all the time, and this was actually pretty flawless, but it's an easy example to show, right? Like, oh, what happens around 10:15, 10:30, generally speaking, reversals. All right, CGC's flying. All right, I might want to get out on the second half of this position here just to take the money and run and reassess for the afternoon. But I mean, hey, as we keep going, MDIA, look at this thing making a nice pop now. So hard for us to not put this stock on our list just to begin. I'd missed out on it from earlier. And not even earlier. I guess this was like crawling up just before, but now just kind of exploded. So not much to miss outside of the last couple of minutes. That's okay, but hopefully a lot more to come on this trade. So a nice push on this MDIA. Don't really see much of an iceberg as resistance for the time being. Looks like it came close to 150. Didn't test it though. So as it gets closer to 150, there might be some volume out there on the ask coming up. Just check level 3, level 4. All right, we keep going through though. EIGR, oof, not 10:30, but definitely making a reversal in a little in the afternoon there at the time. But and here we go, just one of our three stocks already here. Aurora Cannabis, uh, ended up making a good push yesterday, squeezed to make a higher high heading into like the early afternoon here off of 620-ish, 625. Been a perfect trade really all day. So there we go. Chuck, we got you here in chat saying gold, think at an all-time high. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that from yesterday too. And, we'll take a look at some gold miners or gold stocks otherwise. All right, VNDA. We keep moving through here. Honestly, my platform's a little laggy here. It's a little slow. So you got MDAI, you got MSAI. This one's not looking as good though. ATAI. This actually had a nice push earlier today, but had a resistance off of 250. Got pretty close to it. Kind of crawled its way up there, I guess, over time. I left off with it at like 238, 240 maybe, but another pot stock here, FLGC. Just kind of familiar with this one, if anything. Just not really making like the best move. Also, kind of a spotty chart too, albeit the order book's pretty filled in. Another one, SNDL, that our student Leda calls out, testing the 250 level. Yeah, and this is looking a little bit better, a little bit easier on the eyes. Still, I mean, hey, I don't mean this in a bad way, but you want something even a little bit faster moving than this, maybe, right? Slow and steady wins the race. We know that. Slow and steady wins the race. How about some other pot stocks out there like GRWG? I looked up earlier. Kronos, CRON. We're not going to trade all of those because those are even slower. But that SNDL one, I actually like that one for right now. I'll add that to our list from Leda. Good call from her. And I think those will be the three that we'll focus on. All right, those are the three. And I know you got Tilray earnings this afternoon. That's like the slowest of them all. It's actually moving pretty nice here. But I'm going to stick with ACB. I'm going to stick with CGC. That SNDL. We got the other one at least. That's not a pot stock, MDIA, but see if there's anything else looking good. We don't need to, again, focus just on those stocks. We'll focus on other sectors, look at the large caps out there, the gold stocks. Here's AG. Speaking of, well, silver, metals, either way. But yeah, AG ended up having a nice little push here. You could easily add this to our watch list for right now. Take a look at, I guess, like stock like AU maybe. Stock like NEM, Newmont Mining. Is that up a little bit? Not really too much. Grants IAG, it's green, it's up. But as far as like any like metals or like any of that, like AG is actually having a good day. Silver stock, if anything. How about Pan American? This is one of Fausto's favorites, like an OG stock from my days in 2014 with him. Yeah, it's up 6.5%, right? Doesn't hurt us to put kind of both of those on our list for the time being. Sorry, no, not gold, but we'll go silver here. But AG and PAAS, I'll kind of add those to our list. Seeing if there's anything else looking good, at least from the gainer side, though, altogether. Oh, MNMD. I know Luis was talking about this one earlier here. Made a nice pop, right? And it's kind of sticking near the highs. It's kind of, slowly moving on the way back up a little bit there. If I were to zoom in on the chart, you could see it's trying to crawl back up. I'll come back to this trade if we need to. MNMD. All right, we'll hop over to the loser side here. If there's anything else looking good, Grant, Leda, Kathleen, all of our students, Dominic, just Chuck, and let me know if anything else is looking good there. I was actually kind of pumped to check out the stock below 80% drop today, but yeah, it's 4 cents. We're not really trading 4-cent stock. I should have looked at that first, but all right, we keep marching through. GCTS. Wow, this thing has been through the spin cycle and then some. What the hell is going on with this chart? Back from the end of last month, IPO'd and then ended up just chopping around. It popped up from like 5 up to over 50, maybe near 60 that could be. Then came all the way back down. just right down to $5. So if you could short it, that's one thing. I don't think that anyone really, to be honest with you, I don't think anyone could really short this, but interesting trade at least looking at the daily chart for that one. But you keep going through SOL, Ulta, pretty expensive. Should check the price again, but ooh, Intel's down over 7.5%. Had a big drop. What would happen with this? I mean, I know the chip sector here, at least SOXL, had a nice pop to it, still sticking near the highs. What's up with Intel? Why are they down so much? Is it because of the earthquake? Had the what was it, in Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken? Lost billions. Let's see. One sec, just do that. Scroll down. There we go. A little bit easier on the eyes there. So I'm trying to just kind of scroll through to see what I could find. Foundry built for AI era. There's a whole bunch of different headlines here. Company announced new financial reporting structure and announced the appointment of a CFO for Intel Foundry. That's the main headline that came out there. Now, I mean, hey, I guess they don't like their CFO. Right, whoever that guy is, he must stink. No, really, it's a good short. It's a decent short to work with, right? I mean, I guess there's some news on top in Taiwan with their earthquake, of course. Taiwan Semiconductor, I know, was down a little bit this morning. Sam says Intel can never get a break. Well, we'll get a break shorting them. Right? So the headline that came out, whatever it may be, we react to the news that came out, more so the trend afterwards. So looking pretty solid as a potential short down at $40 perhaps. Even at that, you got a big iceberg at 40.50. Even at that, you got a 151,000 share iceberg at 40.50. All right. But big support, I would imagine, at $40 though. Like have it break lower. All right. So if there's anything else looking good, folks, up, down, left, right, more than 5%, just type it in the chat board right now. Just let me know. DJT down again today. See that there. Can't really short it, but all right. Louis saying ACB looking good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that one's definitely near the top of our list. If anything, the ACB, CGC, even that SNDL. Jorge saying FSM Fortuna, good silver stock to watch. There we go. And I know Jorge was saying he's big into gold, and I assume just metals alike. And alongside Grant, I'm definitely gonna look to him for some good advice going forward on gold and metals. And he's right. This is up 12%. Probably up as much as any other silver stock that we just kind of went through. So yeah, hard for us to ignore this one. Really good call from Jorge here. You had resistance at 416, broke above it early this morning, off and running it went. So I'll kind of tag it with the other silver stocks. But, much like I said with the pot stocks, you don't want to add all the other like silver metals on our watch list. But, this one looking strong, the AG looking strong. I'm putting PAAS on the watch list to be a stand for Fausto. That's one of his favorite stocks. There you go. I'll be a fan of seeing that. Michael says Goev down again today. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we could short that, but yeah, that's a loser. Alrighty. Again, folks, left or right, up or down. Let me know if anything else is looking good across the board. But I'll tell you, I mean, we got the CGC, which is flying. We got the ACB, which is flying. Also, we got a lot of other trades to work with. So I'm sticking with what I got here. I'm sticking with my CGC for the time being. And I guess I can get stopped out in VVPR, but I'm not putting this on our watch list at this point. That was more of kind of like a quick flyer, see if I can get a sharp pop. And I got a tiny pop and not much after. So if it ends up making a move from this point, I'll be happy, but I'm going to focus on the other trades more so. That Intel short I actually like a lot too. So, there's a decent amount to work with heading into the close, folks. Any of our gold, platinum, diamond C2 students, again, we're going to post the link for class phase 3 right there in chat. Just make sure that you click the link right there to join. Otherwise, you got me going into the close. I'll be back on 3:05. We'll go 3:05. I'll be back on in about 20 or so minutes. All right, folks. Talk to you.